Hey guys, I'm back with another Game of Thrones review. Today, my sister and I got through watching Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 5, which aired yesterday, which was Sunday. Today's Monday. Like my other reviews, this isn't going to be in order. It's just from my memory, and let's be honest, my memory sucks. So, I gotta say, Season 7 is epic. I mean, like I said before, you can really tell that the writers and stuff, that, I mean, they are gearing toward a huge finale, and every episode this season is epic with more battles and more, the sheer amount of crossovers and characters meeting and reuniting with each other, and, you know, this character who has never interacted with this character, this character who's gotten to and never met this other character before gets to meet and work together. And I mean, it's just, like I said, the crossovers are just fantastic. It's just mind-blowing. So, spoilers ahead. Don't listen to this video if you don't want to know what's going on. If not, then, the scene where they're all deciding what to do, Jon Snow is in there with Daenerys in the Dragonstone War Room, and of course Tyrion's there, Daenerys is there, I'm pretty sure Ser Davos is there, so they're all, I guess Jon Snow got a raven, because Bran has seen the Army of the Dead marching toward Eastwatch, which Eastwatch, by the way, is where they left the Wildlings and Tormund. And so he's like, Jon Snow's like, I gotta leave, and stuff like that. And Daenerys does not look happy about it. But the look that she has is kind of like she doesn't really want him to leave, but basically, and it even seems like she really wants to help him, although she never says so, but just the kind of looks and the way that she talks, like, you know, we can't just abandon the war with Cersei, and, you know, if we leave, Cersei's just going to march in and take everything that we've got, and, which is totally understandable. I mean, it's true, Cersei would just take back the country that Daenerys has already fought so hard to get, but, so Jon Snow and some others, like, they all come up with this epic plan to capture one of the Army of the Dead and literally show it to Cersei. And so, of course, everybody thinks this is crazy because, I mean, why would Cersei, like, just meet with them without killing them first? And so Tyrion suggests that, hey, you know, she listens to Jaime and Jaime will listen to me. So basically they have a plan to smuggle Tyrion into King's Landing and talk with Jaime, get Jaime to convince her to listen, and then meanwhile Jon Snow is going to go with Jorah, who actually reunited with Daenerys since Jorah's cured, thanks to Sam, at the Citadel. That happened in a couple episodes ago. But anyways, Jorah decides that he's going to go with Jon Snow to help them capture the White Walker. So they all leave for Eastwatch, which I was hoping that they would stop by Winterfell first, because back in Winterfell, Arya and Sansa are still, they have their sister dynamic, and I mean, it's really, really tense because the Lords of the North are kind of, they don't like the fact that Jon left, and Sansa's kind of just listening to their insults, and Arya points that out and basically subtly mentions that, you know, Sansa deep inside wants to rule instead of Jon, and if he never came back, Sansa wouldn't be bothered by it at all, according to Arya. And so, but Sansa, you know, is just trying to keep the country, the country together while, Jon Snow is away and everything. So it's kind of sad that they still have this really tense, I mean, it's not like the sister squabbling they had before, it's a more mature kind of dynamic and stuff like that. So that's what's going on at King's Land, or Winterfell. And so, let's see. Meanwhile, well, the whole episode, sorry to go back, but the whole episode opens up with Bronn getting Jaime out of the water. So, good news is Jaime did not die or drown, and both he and Bronn are alive and well, thank goodness. They kind of have their, I mean, even after all that fighting and all that death, Bronn and Jaime still have that dynamic where they're sarcastic back and forth, and they kind of do a little bit of that and everything. Like, Bronn's like, what in the world made you come attack the dragon, and blah, 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 and stuff like that. So, and then it jumps to Tyrion seeing the battlefield and how everything's just kind of wasted away, and there's a little bit of a moment after that where Tyrion is back at Dragonstone talking with Varys, and Varys is getting wary of Daenerys and how she burned, because Daenerys actually, after the battle was over, she asked them all to bend the knee, and some of them did, but Tarly, the Lord of House Tarly, I can't remember the guy's name, but the Lord of House Tarly refused to bend the knee, and his son did, which is actually Sam's father and brother. And they refused to bend the knee, and so Daenerys had Drogo burn them alive, which for me was an epic moment because, I mean, they destroyed House Tarly and Olenna Tyrell, and they betrayed her, and it felt like justice to me, but, that's sad for Sam, though, but he doesn't know about that yet. But anyway, so Varys and Tyrion are talking back at Dragonstone about how she just burned them alive, and, comparing her to her father and stuff, and Tyrion still believes in her, but you can tell Varys is getting kind of wary, and, so then it jumps to Jon Snow getting the Raven and, their plan to capture the dead man. So literally Sir Davos, because he's a smuggler, it immediately, goes straight to smuggling Tyrion in King's Landing. I mean, everything is moving so fast. It's like boom, 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 And, so instead of staying with the boat, Tyrion's like, aren't you going to stay with the boat, Sir Davos, and blah, blah, blah. And Sir Davos is like, I have business in Fleet Bottom. So I was kind of wondering what that was, but I kind of left it alone because the main focus is Tyrion meeting with Jaime. So then the scene jumps to Bronn taking Jaime down below the keep where they were going to train together. And at first I was thinking they were going to train and then Tyrion was going to walk up on them, but it actually turned out Tyrion walked up and Bronn actually got Jaime for Tyrion without consulting him first, which was nice to know that Bronn's still kind of, friends with Tyrion and stuff. So Bronn leaves them alone. Jaime and Tyrion have this really tense moment, and they talk, about their father's death, and Tyrion opens up about how, that their father knew he was innocent and, still wanted to kill him anyway and everything else and stuff. And so Jaime's not really happy, but they talk, and Tyrion mentions that, she doesn't want you guys to bend the knee yet, and then it kind of scene cuts, implying that he explained the plan. And then, it goes to Sir Davos in Fleet Bottom, and it shows this guy, at a blacksmith pounding on a sword, and he walks in, and then Gendry turns around out of nowhere, and I completely freaked out because, there's always a widely known joke amongst fans that Gendry is still rowing, and they actually brought Gendry back into things, and so Gendry, without even asking, because Sir Davos wanted Gendry to go with him, and so without asking, Gendry just gets up and goes with Sir Davos, and it's amazing because he doesn't know how to use a sword, but instead he picks up this gigantic warhammer. And so they go back to the boat, and there's a couple Gold Cloaks guards that are waiting for them, but Sir Davos is epic, pays them off, talks them out of it, shows them these, quote, spices that he has in his canoe, which I'm not going to get into. But it convinces them, but all of a sudden Tyrion shows up walking, and the Gold Cloaks kind of recognize him and everything, and, it's really tense, and they're going to get discovered and everything else, and then Gendry out of nowhere just smashes both of the guards' heads in with his hammer. So they kind of shrug it off and leave right after that, and then, which is interesting, and then it goes to Jaime talking with Cersei, as Qyburn leaves, talking about something he's going to give to her, and so Jaime asks about it, and they kind of talk everything else, and basically Cersei is pregnant with Jaime's kid, which a lot of people might be happy over, but I look at it as that means that Jaime's going to be fighting to protect her more, and I was really hoping that this season he would really see what kind of a monster Cersei is, but now that she's pregnant, he's going to be stupid, and after all this redemption stuff, he's going to make all the wrong choices and protect Cersei and their baby no matter what, just because she's freaking pregnant, and it aggravates me to no end. But anyways, so he explains to her that, Tyrion, that they met in secret. Cersei, by the way, admits that she already knew about it and she let it happen, and she wanted to know what their brother has to say. And earlier in the episode, they had talked, and Jaime told her what he saw at the battle and the dragons, and, Cersei, we can't win this war, we gotta have peace, everything else. Cersei's like, being stubborn about it and not believing him and everything else. So in this conversation, after he finds out that she's pregnant, he tells her the conversation with Tyrion and that they want to meet, and that he supposedly has proof that the army of the dead is marching on the wall. And she actually says that maybe an armistice with them is what we need, and it almost kind of seems like she's kind of a little bit, because before she was gung-ho, like, if we die, we die, better to fight and to die than to surrender and die, and now she's kind of seeming like maybe she wants to live, possibly because she's pregnant, or maybe she's got something up her sleeve. I think she's got something up her sleeve, and she's planning to slaughter them all at the peace talks, but that's just me, because she's just that evil. But, so that happened, and so Then it goes to Jon Snow, and who Sir Davos brings Gendry back, and Sir Davos wanted Gendry to lie that he was Robert's bastard son, but Gendry just blurted it out of nowhere, and so Gendry and Jon Snow started to have this interesting dynamic out of nowhere, and I don't know where it came from, because I love Gendry, but he disappeared, and I never thought they'd bring him back on the show, and then all of a sudden Gendry meets Jon Snow before I could even think about that happening, and then they have this bro dynamic, like a young version of Robert and Ned, and it's like, oh my gosh, and I love it so much. So they have their dynamic going on, and then Sir Davos and Gendry and Jon Snow and Ser Jorah have a kind of a goodbye. Daenerys and Jon Snow say goodbye, and it's awesome. Yes, I ship Daenerys and Jon Snow. Probably never going to happen, but I still ship it. And so they leave. They get to Eastwatch, and without stopping by Winterfell first, which sucks. But Jon Snow, in the Raven, he knows that Arya and Bran are both at Winterfell and that they're alive, and he was surprised, and so it was kind of an interesting moment there. But anyway, so they get to Eastwatch, and they talk with Tormund, and Ser Davos is going to stay behind because he's not a fighter, and Tormund mentions these guys that they found that were coming to prison, and lo and behold, it's the Brotherhood Without Banners and the Hound. In episode 3, they had found the house where the Hound in a previous season had he had stolen money from this father and daughter, and that resulted in now that they were killed. So anyway, so he had a vision in the flames about the army of the dead marching on Eastwatch. So basically the Brotherhood Without Banners thinks it's their job to help with that, and they all kind of, Gendry of course hates them because they tried to kill him in a previous episode, and none of them want to work together, but they all are here for the same goal, which is, to help stop the army of the dead. And so Jon Snow basically says, hey, we're all living, that means we're all on the same side. So they let them out, and the Hound and Thoros of Myr and I can't remember the main Brotherhood Without Banners guy that keeps coming back to life, Jon Snow and Tormund, all walk in this epic 5-man line outside the wall and toward the winter, and it's toward the north, and they're in the snow, and it's just like these 5 bad A guys, and well, they have some more men behind them that Jon Snow brought, I think, and the rest of the Brotherhood Without Banners, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, it's the 5 of them, they walk, and it's amazing, and that's where the episode ends. Can't wait for next week. I'm hoping that, my predictions for next week, I'm hoping that they capture the army of the dead, nothing happens, nobody dies, everybody comes out of it alive, wishful thinking, and that Jon Snow goes back, and they all present the army of the dead guy to Cersei in a meeting with Jon Snow, Daenerys, Tyrion, all the important people, Jaime, Cersei, and Cersei believes them, and finally she sees the proof that, hey, this is real and this whole squabble doesn't mean anything, and that they all work together and decide to try to stop the army of the dead. Probably not going to happen that way, but that's what I hope happens anyway. So tell me what you guys thought of this episode and what you guys think is going to happen next episode. Thanks for listening. Bye.